Daniels found the mine with his foot. Not with a detector, not with a probe, not the way you're supposed to find them. With his foot. Stepped on it. Heard the click. That metallic sound that means you've got maybe half a second before the pressure release sends 300 steel balls through your legs. He froze. Perfect stillness. That click was still echoing when I looked over and saw him standing there, 1 foot planted, face white, eyes wide. He knew. We all knew. You step on a mine, you're dead. Or worse than dead. But Daniels got lucky. Faulty firing mechanism. The click, but no detonation. 1 in 1,000 chance. He stood there for 20 minutes while we figured out what to do. 1 foot on a live mine, before we finally got him off and detonated it remotely. That was the best outcome we ever got. Most times there was no click, no warning, just the explosion, just pieces. My name is Sergeant Thomas Harper. I'm 30 years old, from Bakersfield, California. Combat engineer, 27th Engineer Battalion. I spent 2 years clearing mines and unexploded ordnance in Laos. Not officially. Laos was supposed to be secret, neutral, not our war. But I was there. We were all there, cleaning up the mess we'd made. I enlisted in 1967, went to engineer school at Fort Leonard Wood. They taught us demolitions, construction, mine warfare, how to blow things up, how to build things up, how to clear paths through minefields, technical stuff, precise work, important work. They made it sound clean, methodical, safe if you followed procedures. They lied about the safe part. I deployed to Vietnam in 1968. Regular combat engineer work at first, building bridges, clearing roads, supporting infantry operations. Then, in 1970, they asked for volunteers for special operations in Laos. Classified work. Can't talk about it, they said. Dangerous, they said. Triple hazard pay, they said. I volunteered, stupid, young, thought I was skilled enough to handle it. Laos was a nightmare. The entire country was mined. Years of bombing, years of covert operations, years of both sides planting ordnance anywhere they could. The Ho Chi Minh Trail ran through Laos, main supply route from North Vietnam to the south. We'd bombed it relentlessly. Cluster bombs, mines, delayed action explosives. Millions of pounds of ordnance. Much of it never detonated. Just sat there in the jungle, waiting, for decades, for anyone unlucky enough to step on it or kick it or touch it wrong. Our job was to clear it, make the trails safe, find the unexploded ordnance, mark it, dispose of it. 1 mine at a time, 1 bomb at a time, 1 piece of death at a time. Technical work, precise work, work that killed you instantly if you made 1 small mistake. Daniels was lucky. Most of the guys I worked with weren't. Mine clearing is a kind of insanity you choose. You wake up knowing that today you'll be walking through areas specifically designed to kill you, that every step might be your last, that your job is to find death before it finds you. And if you succeed, you get to do it again tomorrow. The equipment was basic. Metal detector, big, heavy, temperamental. Probe, long metal rod for checking the ground. Marking flags to show where the mines were. Demolition kit for controlled detonations. And faith that the equipment worked, that your training held, that luck stayed with you 1 more day. The procedure was simple in theory. Sweep with the detector. Mark any readings. Probe carefully to confirm. Expose the mine. Identify it. Determine if it's stable enough to move or needs to be detonated in place. Mark it. Move on. In practice, nothing was simple. The jungle made detection difficult. Dense vegetation, metal debris everywhere, ground too wet or too rocky. The detector would ping constantly. Every piece of shrapnel, every discarded shell casing, every scrap of metal from years of war. You'd spend hours investigating false readings, and sometimes the readings weren't false. May 1971. We were clearing a section of the trail near the border. My team, me, Daniels, Corporal Morrison from Tennessee, PFC Garcia from New Mexico, and Lieutenant Webb from Massachusetts. 5 men, 100 yards of trail, estimated 3 to 5 mines based on intelligence. We found 11. Standard procedure. I'd sweep with the detector while the others provided security and marked. Slow work, careful work. Every ping from the detector meant stop, investigate, probe. Feel for the mine in the ground. Find it without triggering it. The first 3 were Chinese Type 72 anti-personnel mines. Small, plastic, difficult to detect. We marked them, planned to detonate them in place. 2 unstable to move. The 4th was a cluster bomblet, unexploded submunition from a CBU dropped years earlier. Should have detonated on impact, but didn't. Now it was a handheld grenade buried in the mud, sensitive as hell, waiting for someone to kick it. Garcia found that one with his probe. Heard the metallic scrape, froze, carefully backed away. We marked it, moved on. Number 5 was an American M14 mine, our own ordnance planted by our own people years earlier, waiting to kill our own people now. The irony wasn't lost on us. Morrison found number 6 by almost stepping on it. His boot was inches away when I saw it. Slight discoloration in the mud, telltale circular pattern. I grabbed him, pulled him back. He looked down, saw how close he'd been, sat down hard and didn't move for 10 minutes. Numbers 7 through 11 were various types. Russian TM-57 anti-tank mine. Another cluster bomblet. 2 more Type 70s 2s. One we couldn't identify. Old, corroded, possibly French from the earlier war. Didn't matter what it was, still deadly. We cleared that 100 yards in 8 hours. 8 hours of sweeping, probing, marking, sweating. 8 hours of knowing each step might kill you. 8 hours of carefully controlled terror. Then we came back the next day and did it again. Different section, same work. Sweep, probe, mark, repeat. That was the job, every day, for 2 years. We lost Morrison in August 1971. Cluster bomblet, partially buried. He was probing ahead, checking a detector reading. Must have applied too much pressure or hit it at the wrong angle. The bomblet detonated. Small explosion. Cluster munitions are designed to kill personnel, not destroy vehicles. But he was right on top of it. The blast took his hand and part of his arm, shrapnel through his chest and neck. He was conscious, screaming, bleeding everywhere. Garcia and I ran to him, tried to stop the bleeding. Too much damage, too many wounds. He died before the medevac arrived. Took maybe 10 minutes. 10 minutes of screaming and blood and us trying to hold him together while he came apart. His last words were asking if his hand was still there. I told him yes, it wasn't. Morrison was the first one I lost. He wouldn't be the last. Lieutenant Webb in October stepped on a pressure release mine. The click, like Daniels had heard, but this time the mechanism worked. Webb had time to say, "Oh God," before it detonated. Everything below his waist was just gone. Died instantly. Small mercy. PFC Garcia in December. Not a mine. Unexploded 250-pound bomb from a B-52 strike. We were trying to mark it for demolition. Something shifted. Maybe the ground settling. Maybe Garcia touched it wrong. Maybe the fuse finally decided to work after years of waiting. The bomb detonated. Full explosion. Garcia was vaporized. Just gone. We found pieces of him 50 yards away. I wasn't injured in that blast. I was 20 feet away, should have been killed. But the jungle absorbed most of the blast. Morrison and Webb and Garcia died doing the job. I survived. Survivor's guilt doesn't begin to cover it. They sent me new team members, replacements, fresh guys who didn't know the work yet. I had to train them, teach them to sweep, probe, identify, watch them make mistakes, watch them learn, watch them become careful and paranoid and competent. then watch some of them die anyway. Corporal Lewis, February 1972. Mine he was defusing shifted before he could secure it. Detonated in his hands. Killed instantly. Specialist Thompson, April 1972. Thought a mine was defused. It wasn't. Picked it up. Explosion took his head off. PFC Kim, June 1972. Tripwire we missed. Connected to a command-detonated mine. He walked right into it. The explosion killed him and wounded 2 others. By the time my tour ended in December 1972, I'd lost 9 men from my teams. 9 soldiers killed clearing mines in a country we weren't officially in, fighting a war we weren't officially fighting. 9 names that wouldn't appear on any memorial because their deaths were classified. 9 men who died doing technical, precise work that killed you if you made one small mistake. Or sometimes if you did everything right, but the ordnance decided to detonate anyway. 9 faces I still see. 9 explosions I still hear. 9 sets of remains I helped collect. The ones who survived weren't much better off. Daniels lost 3 fingers to a small mine in September 1971. Lucky. Most people who triggered mines didn't keep their hands. He was medevaced out, sent home with a Purple Heart and nightmares. Corporal Jackson lost his leg to a cluster bomblet. The explosion was relatively small, but the shrapnel shredded his calf and foot. Amputation below the knee. He was 20 years old. I survived 2 years of clearing mines in Laos, stepped over hundreds of mines, defused dozens, detonated hundreds more, never got a scratch. But I watched 9 men die, watched them step wrong or probe wrong or just be unlucky. Watched them get blown apart by ordnance that had been waiting years for someone to make one mistake. The thing about clearing mines in Laos, you never finish. You clear a section of trail, mark it safe, move on. Come back a month later, the rains have shifted the ground, exposed new ordnance, or someone's planted new mines, or old ones have migrated, moved by water or animals or ground settling. The cleared trail isn't clear anymore. You start over, it's Sisyphean, endless. You're trying to clean up years of bombing with a metal detector and a probe. Millions of pounds of ordnance scattered across thousands of square miles of jungle. You clear 100 yards a day if you're lucky, if you're alive at the end. Do the math. It's impossible. You could clear mines for 100 years and not finish. And every day more people are stepping on what you haven't cleared yet. Farmers, kids, villagers just trying to live in a country we'd turned into a minefield. They'd step on cluster bomblets collecting firewood, hit mines plowing fields, find unexploded bombs and try to salvage the metal. We'd hear the explosions sometimes, distant booms echoing through the jungle. Someone else had found the ordnance. Someone else was dead or maimed. Someone else we hadn't reached in time. That's what ate at me. Not just the team members I lost, the civilians. The endless casualties from ordnance I hadn't cleared yet, couldn't clear fast enough, would never be able to clear. January 1972. A village near where we'd been working. A kid, maybe 10 years old, found a cluster bomblet. Thought it was a ball. Kicked it. The thing detonated. Killed the kid and 2 others. Wounded 6 more. We heard about it when we came through the village the next day. Saw the crater. Saw the blood still on the ground. Saw the faces of the villagers who looked at us like we'd done it personally. And maybe we had. American ordnance, American bombs, American mines. We'd planted them or dropped them, and now Laotian kids were dying because of it. And I was trying to clean it up 1 mine at a time while more kids kept stepping on the ones I hadn't reached yet. It broke something in me, the futility of it. The knowledge that no matter how careful I was, how many mines I cleared, how many team members died helping me clear them, it would never be enough. The ordnance was endless. The casualties were endless. The work was endless. And when my tour ended, when they sent me home, the work didn't end. It just continued without me. Other engineers taking my place, clearing the same trails, losing team members to the same mines, hearing the same distant explosions. And in 10 years, or 20, or 50, kids would still be finding bomblets in the jungle. Farmers would still be hitting mines in their fields. The ordnance would still be there, waiting, killing, long after everyone who planted it was dead. That's what we did to Laos. Turned it into a minefield that would kill for generations, and sent engineers like me to clean it up, knowing we'd never finish, knowing we'd just die trying. December 1972. My tour ended. They flew me out of Laos, back to Vietnam, back to the States. Gave me my discharge papers, thanked me for my service, sent me home to California. I couldn't adjust, couldn't function. Everything felt wrong. I'd spent 2 years watching every step, looking for signs, listening for clicks, moving carefully, deliberately, knowing one mistake meant death. You can't turn that off. Can't just walk normally again. I'd walked down sidewalks in Bakersfield, scanning the ground. Couldn't help it. Looking for discoloration, disturbed earth, telltale patterns. My mind was still in Laos, still clearing mines, still looking for death before it found me. People would rush past me on the street, running, careless, not watching where they stepped. I'd flinch, want to yell at them to slow down, look where they're going, check the ground. Had to remind myself there were no mines here. The sidewalks in California weren't mined, but my body didn't believe it. My instincts didn't believe it. I walked like every step might kill me because for 2 years, every step could have. I couldn't hold a job. Tried construction. I was an engineer. Should have been good at it. But I couldn't focus. Couldn't stop scanning the ground. Couldn't handle jackhammers or pile drivers. The sound too much like explosions. Too much like mines detonating. Too much like Morrison and Webb and Garcia dying. I lasted 2 weeks before I quit. Tried other jobs. Warehouse work, driving, retail. Couldn't hold any of them. The instincts wouldn't turn off. The hypervigilance, the constant scanning, the way I'd freeze at loud noises, drop to the ground, wait for the explosion. People thought I was crazy. Maybe I was. Maybe 2 years of clearing mines in a country where one mistake meant death had made me crazy. Maybe watching 9 team members get blown apart had broken something that couldn't be fixed. My parents tried to help. Got me to see a VA psychiatrist. He asked about my experiences. I told him about Laos, about the mines, about the team members I lost. He made notes. Diagnosed me with something. Anxiety disorder, trauma, some official term. Gave me pills. Said they'd help with the hypervigilance, the panic responses, the intrusive thoughts. They didn't help. Or maybe they did, but not enough. I still scanned the ground, still flinched at loud noises, still dreamed about Morrison screaming with his hand gone, Webb saying, "Oh, God," before the mine took his legs, Garcia just vanishing in the explosion. The pills made me numb, but they didn't make me normal. Couldn't make me normal. Normal people don't spend 2 years in minefields. Normal people don't watch 9 friends die in explosions. Normal people's instincts don't scream danger at every step. I wasn't normal. Would never be normal again. It's 1973 now, 8 months since I came home. I don't work, living off disability. The VA rated me at 70%. Severe anxiety disorder with panic symptoms, they call it. Sounds clinical, sounds manageable, sounds like something that can be fixed. It can't. What they don't understand, what nobody understands, is that mine clearing changes your brain permanently. You spend 2 years where every step might kill you, where every decision could mean watching a friend explode, where the ground itself is trying to murder you. You can't come back from that. Your instincts rewire. Your perception changes. You stop trusting solid ground. You stop believing you're safe, ever, anywhere. I live alone now. Small apartment, ground floor. I can't handle stairs. Can't watch my feet on steps and scan the ground at the same time. The conflict freezes me. I don't go outside much. When I do, I walk slowly, watch every step. People stare, people rush past. They don't understand, don't know that the ground can kill you, that under every step might be death waiting. That's the thing people don't get about mines. Other weapons, you see them coming. Bullets, you can take cover. Mortars, you can hear them. But mines are invisible, silent, patient. They wait under your feet for years, decades, forever, until someone steps wrong. I think about Laos constantly, about the trails I cleared, about the mines still there, the ones I didn't reach, about the people stepping on them now, today, tomorrow, for the next 50 years. The ordnance I cleared, hundreds of pieces. It saved lives. Probably, maybe, for a while. Until the rains shifted new ordnance into the cleared paths. Until someone planted new mines. Until the clearing became meaningless. I think about the 9 men I lost. Morrison, Webb, Garcia, Lewis, Thompson, Kim, the others. They died clearing mines so people could walk safely. But people aren't walking safely. The mines are still there, still killing, still waiting. So what did they die for? What did their deaths accomplish? We cleared some trails for a while, removed some ordnance, but the minefield is still there, will always be there. Their deaths changed nothing. And I'm still here, still alive, still walking carefully, still scanning the ground, still waiting for the click. I don't have relationships. Can't. How do you explain to someone that you can't walk normally? That every step requires calculation and caution? That you dream about your friends exploding? That the sound of fireworks sends you diving for cover? You don't. You live alone. You walk carefully. You exist in the space between the person you were and the person you can never be again. Sometimes I wish I'd stepped on a mine, too. Wish I'd been with Morrison or Webb or Garcia when their luck ran out. At least then it would be over. The vigilance would end. The scanning would stop. The fear would finish. But I survived. And now I get to live with the consequences. Live with the knowledge that the ground can't be trusted. That every step might be your last. That somewhere in Laos, right now, someone is stepping on ordnance I didn't clear. Is dying because I wasn't fast enough, wasn't thorough enough, wasn't enough. We never came back, not really. The combat engineers who cleared mines in Laos were still there, still walking the trails, still sweeping with detectors, still probing the ground, still waiting for the click that means we finally found the one we didn't see coming. I'm 30 years old. I spent 2 years clearing mines in a secret war in a country we weren't supposed to be in. I cleared hundreds of pieces of ordnance, lost 9 team members, came home with a discharge and a disability rating and instincts that won't turn off, and the mines are still there, still waiting, still killing. Daniels found the mine with his foot, heard the click, lived. I found mine without a sound, no explosion, no warning. Just the slow realization that I'd stepped on something years ago and it had detonated inside me. Blown apart the person I was. Left me with pieces that don't fit together anymore. The ground is mined, everywhere, forever. You can clear it carefully, methodically, professionally. But you can't clear all of it. Can't reach all of it. Can't make it safe. And eventually you realize you're not clearing the mines for others anymore. You're clearing them for yourself, trying to make the ground feel safe again, trying to walk normally again, trying to trust the earth under your feet. But the earth can't be trusted, not after Laos, not after 2 years of finding death buried in every step, not after watching 9 friends make one small mistake and cease to exist. The minefield is permanent. In Laos, in my head. Forever. I'm home, but I'm still walking through it, still scanning, still looking for the mine I know is there somewhere, still waiting for the click, still waiting to step wrong, still in Laos, clearing trails that can't be cleared, losing friends who are already dead, trying to make safe what will never be safe. The work never ends, the mines never run out, the vigilance never stops. Daniels heard the click and lived. Morrison heard it and died. I never heard anything, just kept walking, and realized too late that I'd been on a mine for years. That's what mine clearing does. Makes you understand that death is patient, that it waits under every step, that you can be careful and skilled and professional and still die. Or worse, still live, but never feel safe again. The ground can't be trusted. That's what I learned in Laos. That's what I'll know forever. Every step is a risk. Every step might be your last. And you keep walking anyway, because what else can you do? You walk carefully. You scan the ground. You look for the signs. And you hope. You hope this step isn't the one. Hope tomorrow isn't the day. Hope the mine you didn't see isn't waiting just ahead. But hope isn't enough. It wasn't enough for Morrison. Wasn't enough for Webb. Wasn't enough for Garcia. Isn't enough for me. I'm still walking, still scanning, still waiting, still in the minefield. Forever.